Good morning. I hope everyone's picking this up, and I hope the audio is okay. For those of you that have our phone numbers and emails, if it's not, please do shoot us a message so that we can stay on top of that. We want to thank you all for participating this morning in the first conference of the Commercial Receivers Association. Obviously, we're doing this virtually. Next year, we plan to do our conference in person, and we'll have more discussion of that topic a little bit later this morning. But by way of background, the Commercial Receivers Association is something the three of us started. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm an attorney with Spencer Fane. This is Sonette Magnus. She's with Thompson Coburn. And this is Eric Moraczewski, who's with NMBL Strategies. And we decided to start the Commercial Receivers Association for a variety of reasons. But I think they boil down to the fact that receivership, though it's a very old process, it's an underutilized process. And it's one that provides tremendous value to commercial lawyers and practitioners, provides tremendous value to the clients that we serve. We can not only preserve value and save jobs, but we could administer things more efficiently than can be done in the next best option, which is probably involuntary bankruptcy. And as anyone who's dealt with involuntary bankruptcy knows, that process is cumbersome, expensive, and risky. Commercial receivership, however, is efficient, and if handled by people with expertise and experience, can offer tremendous value and predictability for our clients where processes have been normalized. And so we decided to start Commercial Receivers Association because we know there's a population of people with expertise in this field, and having a gathering point, a way to coalesce that expertise across the United States is valuable for a variety of reasons. For one thing, what we want to do with the CRA is to promote our members. Our members are going to be those people who have experience in this field, and it's going to be experts. It's going to be people who know how to effectively administer a receivership case. Our job is to promote them, and our job is secondarily to support them. We will talk a little bit more in a little bit about the various services we'll be providing. That includes an online library, a forms file for different states, and of course, networking and legislative support. And so in order to get into some of those things in a little more detail, I'd like to pass the opportunity, the platform, I suppose, over to Sonette, who will talk to you a little bit more detail about the various services that Commercial Receivers Association does provide and will continue to build for its members.
Thank you, Eric. Welcome again. And thank you for participating in the Commercial Receivers Association's inaugural conference. So as you just heard, we formed the Commercial Receivers Association to create high target spaces for all of you. We wanted to put the right people in the right room and to make the right connections between key players in the receivership space. So many of you have felt that other in-person networking opportunities have become difficult to navigate or difficult to find the right person that you're looking for in your business, for your business or for your marketing needs. So we seek to address that and do it in a more efficient way. With that, we also want to create a focused space to educate and empower everyone in the receivership space. So you'll see on our website, which is www.commercialreceiver.org, that we have responded to all the feedback and requests that we have received to date and have put information up there for you in one place. That is, we have state-by-state breakdowns of receivership statutes already done for you. We have bonding related information statutes and regulations already there for you. We have one-on-one conversations with receivership professionals in the states that we have launched already there for you to tune in. And we have virtual panels on topics that you have requested. And we're seeking more information and feedback from you on other areas that you're interested in so we can respond in due course. We have a targeted receivership article database there for you. And as you just heard my colleague Eric to my right, as they're both named Eric, we have some educational and practical tools for you, like forms and articles in the receivership space already posted for you. We therefore seek to educate everyone That is our judges, our bankers, our bonding companies, insurance companies, and of course, our auctioneers and lawyers, everyone that touches the receivership space. So we want to make sure that everyone's included and gets everything that they need. And for us to do that, we need feedback and suggestions from you. For our lawyers, we will continue to seek opportunities to provide CLE credit in the states where we have a growing membership and interest. And we're happy to take suggestions on panels and other potentially CLE accredited opportunities for you. Today's legislative, banking, and insurance panels are each approved for an hour of CLE credit in Colorado, Missouri, and Texas, and approval is pending in Minnesota. So if you seek CLE approval, CLE credit for these panels, you'll of course need to participate fully in the sessions, and we ask that you please fill out and submit the panel evaluations at the end. And you will also be provided with a certificate of attendance so that you can submit your CLE credit to your respective state bodies. And I hope in particular that you take advantage of today's legislative panel. We have a continued goal of having not just uniform receivership laws, but also uniform application across jurisdictions and states. So several groups have reached out to learn about how state laws were changed in certain states, including where the three of us sit right now in Missouri. And we want to offer you that guidance and everything that you need in a toolkit to effectuate achieve the same changes in your respective states. So for those of you that have not had any updates in their receivership laws lately, please tune in and get valuable insight and information. Separately from today's panels, we're integrating that learning process from other states to continue to build upon strong legislative resources for everybody. Finally, please take advantage of the time between panels to connect with each other across backgrounds and especially across state lines. We see the CRA as an opportunity to build a connected network of strong, qualified professionals, and we hope that you do too. So with that, I'll turn it over to my other colleague, Eric. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoy the day.
Thanks, Eric and Sonette. As Sonette touched on, the CRA has a lot of opportunities for engagement coming up in these future months as we continue to build and grow the networking events and legislative opportunities. If you're interested in playing a role as a state director, leading legislative efforts in your state, hosting a networking event, or just have questions, please reach out to info@commercialreceiver.org. It's an easy way for you to get involved, find out more, or really just to engage with us or others locally in wherever you're from. We do have some upcoming events that we're really excited about in the next few months to close out 2022. On September 14th, we'll be in Minneapolis to launch the Minnesota market, a really great event in downtown. On October 18th, we'll be in Oklahoma City to launch the Oklahoma market. Again, really excited to engage with locals in the community, find out more about what's going on in your states, as well as find out how we can support you as your own receivership practice grows. And we're currently setting dates for Arizona, as well as the DC, Virginia, and Maryland markets. With more to come in 2023, we have a lot of opportunities as we look to continue to launch states and make sure that we've built that network slowly but surely as we continue to evolve. We also have our panel discussions. Beyond today, we have some great talks. We've already had one looking at the cannabis market and receivership, which was greatly attended, great response, and we'll continue to do more as well as other talks as we go. So with that, on November 3rd, we're doing a best practices for a hotel receivership coming up, and we have a great group of panelists set up, and we'll continue to look at CLE opportunities for those of you that are looking for that across the country and expanding it beyond those 4 states so that we can make sure we're securing those rights for everyone that is in need of those. But let's look at today first. Today, we've got a great lineup of talks, as Sonette touched on. They're starting in about, I was going to say 20 minutes, but these two rolled through their talks a little quicker than I had intended for them to do. So starting in about 50 minutes, we'll have our first panel discussion, how state laws for receiverships have changed for the better. This panel discussion is sponsored by Spencer Fane, As Sonette touched on, there is CLE available. It's made up of a great group of speakers: Eric Peterson of Spencer Fane, James Bailey of Frederickson and Byron, Thomas Hemmendinger of Brennan, Ray Capero, Cassione, Scungio, and McAllister. If I screwed up any of those last names, believe me, as a Moraczewski, I fully understand and I apologize. And it will be moderated by John Cruciani of Hush Blackwell. So really a great time for us to really look at how some of these states have changed legislative efforts. First, Minnesota is probably the furthest back of that group. Missouri kind of right in the middle, and then Rhode Island is a recent change. And what's beautiful about that panel is Thomas Hemmendinger also sits on looked at the uniform commercial change across the country and really looked at the real estate angle of that all. And so you'll get a few different perspectives, both from a universal code perspective as well as how those state laws changed. And I'm sure you'll have some great feedback from Eric Peterson here as well as those other panelists. We're following that up with a banker's perspective to commercial receivership at 12 o'clock noon today, Central Standard Time. This panel discussion is sponsored by NMBL Strategies. CLE is available as a part of this panel discussion, and speakers include Brad Harvey of Enterprise Bank and Trust, Michael Slade of UMB Bank, and Sean Ortwig of St. Louis Bank. And then that panel will be moderated by Emily Cantwell of Lathrop GPM. What's really exciting about this is we're going to dive into the heads of bankers and how they look at this process, both from selecting the receiver, selecting the attorney to represent them, as well as their feelings and thoughts as they move through commercial receiverships, and looking really to where they see opportunities that would help them feel more comfortable and hopefully allow those receivers here, those attorneys here, to better understand the process from an internal banking standpoint. Really an exciting time for us to just continue to engage that perspective. We'll move then into insurance and bond issues in a commercial receivership at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. This panel is sponsored by Carmody McDonald. CLE is again available for the panel discussion. Speakers include Daniel Wiggins of Morris Anderson, Michael Staheli of Portis and Company, and Sarah Desjardins of International Sureties, and is moderated by Sonette Magnus of Thompson Coburn. So we've got a great group to really talk about insurance and bond issues, things that receivers have experienced within the receivership, as well as the bond company to talk about insurance and bond issues that they've seen happen and occur and what could be done differently. So again, hopefully a really nice back and forth looking at the insurance and bond issues in commercial receivership today. We close out our day with our state directors panel at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Speakers include Brent King, our Missouri State Director from B. Riley Financial, Howard Mark Spector of Spector and Cox, representing our Texas State Director, and Ryan Gulick of the Receiver Group from Colorado. And then that will be moderated by me, Eric Moraczewski of NMBL Strategies. So again, we're really looking to help everyone here listen to what's going on in some different states that we've already launched in. We've selected these three as our state directors as a part of our state launches, and we'll continue to grow that state director network as we launch in future states. So really a good time. We want these state directors to be really leading the initiatives for their states and making sure that when we're looking at events, when we're looking at speakers, when we're looking at the needs of a state and what's going on, the state directors are that voice in really helping to continue to grow the commercial receivership practice in each of those states. I should point out, I mentioned those three panels that have CLE available to them is all sponsored by Thompson Coburn today. Thompson Coburn provides total commitment to our clients, to our people, and to our community. Visit thompsoncoburn.com to learn more. So Sonette's here obviously representing Thompson Coburn. We're very grateful for their sponsorship and all the effort that went into securing that CLE for today. I will also note a few kind of maintenance issues for today. All of our sessions are being recorded and will be made available to conference attendees through your Whova login. So the same way you logged into your session today, whether through the app or through the website, you'll be able to log in and access the recordings at any point that you would like to in the future. In addition, the CRA records all of our webinars, and members have access through their member login to all of these sessions, to all prior webinars that we've recorded, as well as future webinars as we secure them. And we also have case studies, white papers, and more that are really great resources available to our membership today. With all of this said, we have one more big announcement. Eric touched on it very briefly there. Next year, we will be hosting our annual conference in person, which is a really exciting moment to get to see everyone. I actually just got back from another conference this last week, and the dynamic that changes from virtual to in person is just incredible. And while we want you all to be participating today through the Q&A and through the chat, we also understand that it's never quite the same as if we're all looking each other in the eye and able to communicate. And so we hope that you'll join us next year in St. Louis, Missouri, where we're located today. We'll be at historic St. Louis Union Station from August 23rd to 25th. And shortly after this panel, we'll be launching the websites that include our programs, including a call for speakers. Really exciting time. If you have some interesting knowledge to share on the commercial receivership practice, some diverse perspectives on the commercial receivership practice, we want to hear from you. We want you to tell us what is the right way for us to be positioning the conference and sharing that information. So we'd love for you to submit a call as a part of the call for speakers. You can also find an agenda, information on the hotel and travel, registration, and sponsorship. And with that said, I'm going to share our first to be seen anywhere and launch announcements, and which would be helpful if it was showing up as available. Let's see, gotta love it, right? This is what happens when we try to do this first thing in the morning. So we will and here we go. And volume. Apparently, we are not going to be able to give you volume today. We apologize for that. But fortunately, this is the only video we're playing as we go on through the day. But what you can see here, this will be across all our social media in the coming minutes. We're really excited about the launch of this in-person conference. It really gives us a unique opportunity to engage with all of you. So we hope to see you next year in St. Louis. I think I maybe gave you the wrong dates earlier, so I'm glad this gave me the right dates of August 21st through 23rd. Really, again, we're so excited. We can't decide how many days we want to spend with you. So thank you all for joining us today. Again, I'm just walking you through a few points on the conference as we're looking at it today. We really have an opportunity for you to engage through the HUVA platform. Question and answers. We will have, as Sonette mentioned, for CLE, there will be some pop-ups that occur throughout the discussion that if you're looking for CLE credit, we need you to record the top secret code words that we'll be sharing and making sure that you're all engaged and paying attention. We have the chat and the community. There are also a few more features available to you through here. We've got our messages in our community. There's just some questions that we put out there. We want you to share and interact. We have 55 attendees registered for today, which was actually 10% above where we were hoping to hit. We were hoping to get to 50, so we're really excited that we are 10% above that. This is an opportunity to create engagement, both from receivers to attorneys, as well as across state lines and throughout the community. And so if you want to reach out to the speakers that are here, especially if you're looking for a legislative change, great opportunity to reach out after you listen to the speakers today to really create some dynamic engagement as we're going throughout the afternoon. So we look forward to everyone joining us today. I hope everyone is ready for a really great time. Anything else you want to close with?
Yeah, I'd like to say one thing, and that's just to express our thanks and gratitude. If you participate today, you look at the panels, you check out the sponsors list, you realize we've had financial, operational, and participant support from so many places. Carmody McDonald, Thompson Coburn, Spencer Fane, Nimble, Brennan Recupero, B. Riley, Morris Anderson. I mean, the list goes on and on. The receivers group in Denver, Colorado. The list goes on. I can't recite them all off the top of my head, but I think that it is a worthwhile thing to take a moment to say thank you, to express gratitude for all the folks who came together to make today's panels possible. And just let you know that we greatly appreciate it. We hope to enhance the services we provide, enhance the opportunities we provide, and with some input from you all to drive value for you and for your practices. And so with that, I think we look forward to a series of CLE panels today. We hope you enjoy. The legislative session talking about legislative change will kick off at 10 a.m. Central. I encourage you to take a look. We have a tremendous panel. Thomas Hemmendinger, as was mentioned, from Rhode Island, not only has been involved in Rhode Island's legislative change, but has been active with the Uniform Law Commission and has insight on legislative change that's happened in perhaps even a dozen additional states. Jim Bailey in Minnesota, one of the first states to actually make a meaningful reform to the receivership laws, has a great deal of insight to share about that process. And I'll be there to talk about Missouri, and will be hosted, will be moderated by John Cruciani. And so I think it'll be a very good panel. And for lawyers who typically don't involve themselves perhaps day to day on how to get something through the legislature, I think it'll have some useful information so that if in your state you decide that's an appropriate activity, you've got some folks you can call on and some information to give you a head start.
That's it. So we'll see you at 10 and then again at noon for the bankers panel and again at 2 o'clock for the insurance and bonding panel. Thank you for tuning in and we'll see you soon.